Shalom. All praise, honor, and glory goes to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Hakwadash, double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to Akim pushing this word in all sincerity and honesty, the old full elect constantly enduring throughout the four corners of the world. Shalom. My name is Korah Allah, and Lord willing, this makes for an edifying lesson. This is based on the Golden Dome, which Donald Trump is putting in motion, which is a nuclear defense program. All right, like the Iron Dome. So this is off of Chat GPT. It says the Golden Dome is a proposed U.S. missile defense system announced by President Donald Trump on May 20th, 2025, aiming to protect U.S. from ballistic, hypersonic, and cruise missiles threats. The initiative draws inspiration from Israel Iron Dome, but seeks to expand its capabilities significantly. It says the cost is estimated to be at 175 billion, with an initial 25 billion allocated. It says while Trump announced a goal for full operational status by early 2029, experts say it may take longer to complete. It says technological components. The system would integrate various technologies, including space-based interceptors, lasers, and advanced radar systems. It aims to create a multi-layered defense network capable of countering a wide range of missile threats. Okay. Let's go to international collaborations. As Canada has expressed interest in participating, particularly in developing sensor technologies to detect incoming threats. It says the collaboration aims to enhance the system's effectiveness, and integration. Okay, and this is of not Google, but ChatGPT. All right, which ChatGPT is taking over right now as one of the newest, or if not the best, search engines. Okay, but of course Google is always still there, but ChatGPT is another option. I gave it a go for this lesson, and it was satisfied. The information was satisfying. Okay, but basically, now what I want to bring out as I speak on this is the Golden Dome. Now they want to have lasers and interceptors, right? Special radars, all these things out of space, because they know they have those hypersonic missiles, as it says it right here, ballistic missiles, hypersonic missiles, and cruise missile threats. All right. Now a cruise I believe the cruise missiles travel low under the radar, right? But the hypersonic missiles travels at speeds that may be hard to counterattack or hard to counter. Okay, so they have to bring out this whole new defense program, right? But the thing is, none of this is gonna work. Okay, because the low could have the satellites shut down, and then what? So it's not gonna work at all. Those missiles are gonna hit their target, as it said in the scriptures. Let me get a few scriptures, and Lord wants makes for edifying lesson. This is Habakkuk 2 and 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Right? And America, believe it or not, America is in the book, is in the prophecies. America is prophesied it in the Bible. Okay? Code name Virgin Daughter Babylon. Code name Sodom and Egypt. Okay? And this place is going to be destroyed by the way of fire. All right? Code name Edom. It says, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. So we waiting patiently upon these prophecies coming to pass. And at this point, we're just watching the prophecies take place, as we continue to praise the names of Yahweh and the Son Yahweh Shai and their beautiful works, and we continue to endure and to push on until this place is destroyed. Okay, so every day we watch the prophecies which is take place in the news of wars and rumors of wars, destructions, natural disasters, all right, so-called natural disasters, which we know that's judgment. All right, and when these things take part, we know that the times we're in, and we know it's almost time for that great judgment and that great deliverance. This is Isaiah 47:1. It says, "Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon." And that's talking about America. This is one of those visions, right, that seemed like it's tarrying because America is still in rulership. All right, but here it is. America is coming out of its rulership, and you can see the decline is getting more and more steep. All right, come down, sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Come out of that dust represents confusion, right? Because it's if you really paying attention, you will see it's disasters and wars on all sides, right? It's even a division inside, right, between the states. It says, "Come down, sit in the dust, O virgin daughter Babylon," right? That virgin daughter, because America was never touched by war. All right, World War I and II were all fought in Europe. Okay, there were no main wars fought here in America, the land of the North, right? But this war, this place is gonna be touched. This place is gonna be destroyed. All right, you're gonna have invasions, right? Like that movie, Red Dawn, I believe it is Red Dawn, when you had the I think it was Koreans or Chinese invading America, right? Now that's actually gonna happen. You're gonna have bombs being shot off. You're gonna have terrorist attacks from foreign countries, right? And it says, "O virgin daughter Babylon," because America King comes in the spirit, the daughter of Babylon. America comes in the spirit of Babylon, the spirit of wickedness and confusion. Sit in the ground, there is no throne, O Chaldeans, right? Because America is known for its witchcraft. It says, "For thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate." You shall no more be called tender and delicate. So this is a prophecy that we're watching come to pass, man. We're watching these things happen. The collapse of the dollar, right? These nations and countries losing trust in the dollar, dropping the dollar, losing trust in America. America is losing its influence around the world, right? That's why they're building up this so-called Golden Dome. But it's going to be to no avail, right? Because the scriptures say, "Come down, sit in the dust. There is no throne," right? Meaning what? You're going to be pulled out of power. "For thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate," which this place was known as tender and delicate. All right, like the harlot that had the in Revelation 17, which I get that. It says, "Take the millstone, grind meal, uncover thy locks, make bare the leg," right? So it used to be this delicate woman, right? Like a woman from a royal family, she would be considered delicate, right? She would have people giving her baths. She would have people feeding her. She would be comfortable. All right, she wouldn't know what a day of work is, But then you have that. Then you have the Cinderella type woman that would be busting her ass every day, living in rags, living dirty, having to get into wash up maybe once a month. Okay, so in other words, America is coming out of that era, that era of being on top and being delicate, right? Being rich and wealthy, and now America's gonna be put in a position of servitude. All right, and it's where it's supposed to be. And when I say America, I'm really pinpointing the leaders, starting the elites, and the rest of you Edomites. Says, take the millstone and grind mill and cover thy locks, make bare the leg. All right, you're being exposed for your wickedness, and it's starting with the men of the Lord, starting with the apostles of GMS, bringing out the truth, and also these whistleblowers, right? But that's to further back up what's being said through prophecies. It says, uncover the thigh and pass over the rivers, right? So these nations also are going to see your shame. It says Jeremiah 57:1 says, Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand. Okay, now this is interesting because the dome is called the Golden Dome, right? And something for a defense. Now gold is a soft metal. All right, it scratches easily. Okay, so that alone through the spirit, it's a flaw in the system. All right, so America might look golden, right? The streets are paved with gold, but really America is really a fragile state, a fragile country. Okay, and it's gonna be destroyed. It's not gonna stop those missiles at all. It says Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand. I mean, it's been, propped up in power, right? Being used to do its duty, its wickedness, but it's all through the Lord's will. It says that made all the earth drunken, and America made all the earth drunken through the philosophies, the democracy, all right, their influence. It says the nations have drunken of her wine, okay, the democracy. Therefore, the nations are mad because the nations done caught on, right? Even these nations are tired of your wickedness. That's why these nations are siding with Russia or China, okay? Some of these nations that have a division are finding some form of treaty, all right? Like North Korea and South Korea. It says, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her take balm for her pain, if so she may be healed, right? So Babylon is suddenly fallen. Future prophecies. Okay, so the Golden Dome defense system, your lasers, and your intercept the missiles to intercept, your defense missiles, whatever the case may be. It seems spectacular. It seems amazing, like something out of a movie, right? But you're not the Most High. Okay, Esau does not control his destiny. It says, behold, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her take balm for her pain? If so be she may be healed. Right? So there's no balm for America's pain, whether it's financially or through the military. It's gonna be to no prevail. We would have healed Babylon, but she's not healed. Forsake her and let us go, everyone, into his own country, for her judgment reaches onto heaven and is lifted up even to the skies. So now we're at the time of judgment. All right? We're at the time of judgment. We're at the end of this era, the end of this age, and we're going to see this place burn. Revelations 17:3. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast. Now that woman is referring to America. Okay, that's why it says in Jeremiah 51st chapter, it says we would have healed her. Okay, because America is not going to be healed. Okay, so it says, and I saw a woman, America, Babylon, sit upon a scarlet-colored beast. That scarlet-colored beast is going into these different, which it says right here, the 7 heads, NATO and the EU. Okay, but scarlet covered. Why? Because these are Edomite nations. Now Esau, or the so-called white man, is not white, as they love to say. The the truth is they're red, okay, or shades of red. So that scarlet colored beast is going into, it says it here, having 7 heads and 10 horns, right? Going into the 7 heads being NATO, which that consists of the Greeks, the Romans, the Spanish, the French, Germania Minor, Germania Major, and the British. Okay, and you have the 10 horns, which is the EU nations. Okay, it says, and the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. And that's America. First of all, Slaki says in 17:3 says, full of names of blasphemy, right? Because that's all Esau does, blasphemes the name of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai and the will of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. That's why Esau is unable to keep any law written in the scriptures, not one law. Okay? That's why he calls himself so-called God and so-called Jesus Christ, because really he wants to be like the Most High. He wants to be the Most High. Okay? Revelation 17:4. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. Right? So it says the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet colored and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, representing how wonderful America was to these nations, right? Because these nations traded with America. America was #1 consumer. Okay, America provided defense. So America, these people worshipped America, influenced by America, right? Kept America's laws and philosophies and democracy. Okay, it says having a golden cup in their hand full of abominations, right? So America took the trust these nations have and did wrong, ultimately did wrong by Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, because the Most High put America in a position of power to America could have done something right. But, the spirit of Esau is in this place. And of course, the spirit of death. So of course, America is not going to get not one thing right. According to prophecies, it says, having a golden cup in his hand full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. Let's jump down. Let's go to Revelation 17:6. And we finish it here. It says, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. Right? And paying attention to prophecies, we see this happening. Why? Because America is getting weaker and weaker on steady decline, while these other nations are becoming stronger and stronger. Russia has the most nuclear technology, the most advanced nuclear technology, right? China has the most resources. Okay, so and they already formed an alliance. So a lot of these nations, they're gonna make deals because they know America goes down. They don't want to go down with America. So their whole thing is they're gonna make deals with China. They're gonna make deals with Russia, deals with Iran. Okay, all these different states or slack all these different countries, right, to prevent not following the same judgment that's coming to America. It says, for the Most High has put it in their hearts to fulfill his will and to agree and to give their kingdom unto the beast, unto the words until the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled. So these nations put themselves in subjection, really, so the Spirit though, so all the wills of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, the Lord said he take out the power and put in power, right? The Lord reigneth in the kingdom of men. Okay. It says but now it says until the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled. So now these words are being fulfilled. These prophecies are coming to pass. Okay. You have the waking up of Israel, starting with the elect. You have wars and rumors of wars. Right now we're looking into the chip. The chip is on the way. So these prophecies that have to come to pass. And ultimately after that, this place is going to be pelted and destroyed by way of nuclear fire. It says, and the woman which thou sawest is that great city, which reign over the kings of the earth. So there you go, that the great city that reign over the kings of the earth. Who is that today? America. Long edifying lesson. I want to say all praise, honor, and glory goes to Yahweh, Washim, Yahweh Shai, Wash Hakodash. Double honor to the apostles, bishops, and elders, great millstone, and salutation that I can push this word in all sincerity and honesty. Shalom.